Honestly, the hardest part was just the financial burden. It took us about a year and a half to save up every penny
Yeah.
to move forward with IVF. And then when we did, we miscarried our first round. We drained our bank account. We didn't know if we would be able and how quick we'd be able to jump into a second round. We did our second round and we got pregnant with our twin girls. But that was where the fire started, right?
Right.
It was
It's
going
it's so
through,
not fair.
we really are like one big family. We're all in this together.
And today I'm delighted to have as my guest and to help us learn more about how to get through this IVF process is Lauren Clemens, who is the founder of the Brilora Fertility Foundation. Well, we know that IVF is not inexpensive. We know that it's not just the cost and the treatment. And we also know that, we hear a lot about, IVF federal funding or state funding, but there's a whole group, a large group of people who just can't wait for maybe when that day comes, with the big air quotes, maybe
Yes.
around when that day
Yes.
when that day comes. So what you bring to the table is so crucial right now with the Brilora Grants Foundation. But let's take from the top. How did Brilora begin?
Yes. So similar to so many people that are passionate in this industry of doing this great work, my husband and I, we struggled with our own journey for 3 years. My tubes were blocked, so I actually had to have my tubes removed.
Mm,
And then it was only after in doing that that then I was able to move forward with IVF.
mhm.
Um, Honestly, the hardest part was just the financial burden. It took us about a year and a half to save up every penny to move forward with IVF. And then when we did, we miscarried our first round.
Oh,
Um, and it was pretty excruciating, right?
of
Because just
course.
not knowing, we drained our bank account. We didn't know if we would be able and how quick we'd be able to jump into a second round. But we were blessed on a number of levels. And 6 months later, we did our second round and we got pregnant with our twin girls. But that was where the fire started, right?
Right.
It was
It's
going
it's so
through.
not fair.
Yes. It was going through all of that. You realize pretty early on just how many barriers are in place prohibiting people from moving forward.
And so grants, obviously, I mean, one of the biggest barriers is the financial expense. And so tell us about the grants. What kinds of grants are they? Who can apply? How should they apply?
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I will say, like, we are inclusive. We want everyone to apply, and we are here to help everybody, no matter their background, circumstance, or what they're up against. We truly stand by that. So we have grants that help people move forward with IVF, IUI, surrogacy, and even acupuncture, because as we know, there are some times when you're saving up every penny for your treatment, wanting to do other supplemental treatments like acupuncture,
Mhm.
oftentimes can be limited. And so we want to be able to help as many people. And so we have our acupuncture grants as well.
I love that. I love that. And then of course, I'm very biased toward that, being a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine. And that's the very reason why beyond acupuncture, I designed my courses so that people could do their
Yes.
acupoint stimulation in the privacy of their own home 3 times a week, and who could get to treatments 3 times a week. So
Yeah.
wonderful that you're recognizing that need as well and
And it's
providing
no
grants for that.
secret how big acupuncture plays in our fertility journeys. And
Exactly.
it's
Exactly.
important to me. We should all be able to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, how would you say Brilora is different from other, grant foundations for in the fertility industry?
I definitely can only speak for us in that, it's just really important that with all the barriers that there are, we don't want to be another one. And so we really try to make sure that again, anyone with those circumstances or backgrounds are able to. And so, I mean, certainly for those, I mean, one of the things that I'm really excited about is a lot of times there's can be barriers on your BMI.
Hmm.
And for us, we don't want that to be a barrier. We want to see how can we work with that. And so, certainly when it comes to our evaluation process for people that are applying, we look at a lot of different factors, right? So income can be part of it. Obviously, we want to make sure that people are in need
Mhm.
first and foremost, but also we really want to look at full body health and see where everyone is at. So all of that criteria is really assessed and rated, and then from that point, our grant recipients the final candidates are presented to our board and they anonymously vote.
Mhm.
But I would say what's different, I mean, everyone on the team, we all struggled with fertility. We are just your average day people that went through it ourselves. And maybe that's not different. I think a lot of organizations have people that,
Yes and no, but I think it definitely lends itself to deepening compassion, right?
yeah,
You're listening perhaps differently than someone else who may just be measuring metrics and checking off the box. Are they within this, financial quadrant, or or what are their age? What are their other, variables? But when you listen as a human being who really understands, I think it must change the entire interview process.
yes. Yes, we definitely lend ourselves to really build and form relationships with our great recipients. I always say, and I know a lot of our recipients can attest to this, part of the big relief and the surprise obviously is the financial component, but what I think people don't realize until they're going through their process is how much else they're getting
Yeah.
with the grant. I mean, we really are with our grant recipients every step of the way, figuring out the medications, helping them navigate through their cycle. We have a therapist that is on our team to help support mentally as our recipients are going through treatment. And so we don't just give the grant and sort of step away. We really are like one big family. We're all in this together to help support.
Well, that's beautiful because again, it's not just you're right. I mean, getting that check in the bank is a big sigh of relief, but there's so much more to it. And so if somebody can say, okay, thank you for the for the funding, but more importantly, or as importantly, thank you for holding my hand through this, because
Yeah.
like anything, when you're first going into this whole process, and I see it so often myself in private practice and in my coaching practice, it is shocking to many people who are otherwise, highly intelligent, educated people who say, "How do I not know this?" And how can you know if you've not
Yes.
gone through it? So I think that's lovely having all of these additional support structures. And I presume then that your recipients become your what's the word I want to use? Your advocates. They're out.
Yes, and they're like friends and family now. It's been really incredible. We often get updates as they and celebrate graduating from their clinic all the way through their third trimester.
Yes.
I love being able to celebrate with them at their baby showers and then even just fast forward, I mean, our very first grant recipient is 3 years old, I think
Wow.
little over three, and she's thriving and doing amazing. And it's really amazing to sort of be part of the journey with a lot of these recipients really from the beginning.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. So you're not just a grant foundation. You're really creating a community for people
Yes.
and I imagine also that many of these recipients are then becoming more involved beyond being a spokesperson. Do they then also become part of the team, perhaps, of, if they can, of course, sometimes people are working
Yes.
and pregnant and having families.
Yes, absolutely. No, they all very much, once they get to sort of the other side of their journey, they then feel compelled to want to join us in this mission,
Hmm.
which just extends the amazing story, right? And so,
Yeah.
like right now, we have a grant recipient who is a firefighter, and one of the things that even I just recently learned is that due to his profession and some of those environmental factors, it lends towards male factor fertility issues.
Absolutely.
And so, excuse me, so I'm really excited because he has just been front row and center of really wanting to educate our community that that is a reality and being able just to really advocate sort of the challenges that they've been up against. And so that's been really great. But one thing that I really do also feel proud about is that while we have so many people that want to help advocate and we are so thankful for it, I also want to let everybody know that maybe listening in that in when it comes to our grants, if you don't feel comfortable with being front row and center and sharing your story, you want to remain anonymous, whether that's now or in the future, we honor that. We're here to help you regardless
Yes.
of whether you want to be an open book. And I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Not everybody, is comfortable with the idea of, letting the world know that they're even going through IVF as a
Yeah.
way to get their baby, let alone that there's a need for a grant. All of these little factors could come into play. Please connect with us for a fertility assessment call at the link below. We'd love to learn a bit about you and share our resources. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you never miss an episode. So to the listening audience out there and audience listening and viewing, I want to ask if you would, share this with at least 5 people, because at least 5 people means one is going to be likely in need of it. And here's certainly hoping that more might be able to be sponsors, be contributors to Brilora, because this relies on contributions. And I know you've got, a gala coming up where you've got some big sponsors participating, but there's always room for more sponsors to come in and
Yes.
help create the continuance of this grant, this funding opportunity. So,
Yes.
yeah, do you also then have like any kind of criteria for when people apply that perhaps they agree to, I don't know, improve to the best of their ability, their nutrition and hydration and things like that, because, you want to be supporting a healthy baby. Um,
Correct.
or
Yeah.
is that something that you just say, we have our limitations. We can't be, in their kitchen making recipes with them.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I definitely can say for so many people that are struggling, they really do want to give every bit that they can towards making their journey successful. And so I think so many people, I think, really try to be conscious
Hmm.
of external factors that they can, help support
Right.
their health. So whether that's nutrition and acupuncture and things like that. I will say that as far as like our role, we just this year where we've been super thrilled with our spring recipients to also partner with with a company called De Novo Fertility. And so what they do is they actually help coach
Hmm.
people through their journey, as well as they have a dietitian on board, a nutritionist on board, a
Hmm.
functional medicine doctor.
Hmm.
And so that's really strengthening the people that they work with to make sure that they really have optimum sperm health and egg quality health. And
Hmm.
so that is our way, is teaming up with people like them so that we can make sure that through some of these other partners and professionals that we can really honestly, and like yourself, yes, and like yourself, right? It's not just the work of Brilora, it's the work of so many people. And that's again, it's part of our great recipients it's a community. They really get all of this additional support.
Yeah, and I think that is so critical. I mean, this is where I get on my little advocacy soapbox, because we want to help as best we can, but I think we all, not just the recipients, not just the people going through IVF, but we all have a role to play in helping to ensure that that is going to be a healthy egg, healthy sperm, healthy
Yes.
embryo, healthy baby, because this is the creation of the future. And so it's going to be, we're going to, need to make sure that we are contributing now toward the health of our future. So
Yes.
I love to know that you're adding these partnerships in. And of course, this is an organic growing foundation and company and community. So I'm sure there'll be even more as time
Yeah.
marches on. Yeah.
Well, we're definitely growing. We may be based out of Michigan, but we also now are in California, as you know. We now talk about we've got our Michigan Gala and our California Gala, which we now refer to as our East Coast and our West Coast galas.
Mhm.
Because while we are expanding to New York and among other states, and so while those are our two galas that we do each year, our resources don't stop there.
Mhm.
We are going to continue to expand nationally so that we can support people in every community.
Mhm. If you were to have a sort of a magic fairy come in and say, what are your biggest three wishes for Brilora Foundation? Because that magic person may be listening to in the audience today. What would you want the audience to know, both from the recipient end, the grant recipient end, but just the fertility community at large?
Oh gosh, one wish is obviously that no matter where you live, that you have access to IVF and that it is covered by insurance so that you can have that help and support and it's not a barrier.
Mhm.
I also think that's a very loaded answer
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, we're also going to have deductibles. And as we know, even those can be pretty high.
Mhm.
And there can be a domino effect. So there is that. There's also things like surrogacy that may still always have
Mhm.
that high price tag.
Yeah.
So our organization isn't going to go anywhere. We are still going to be fighting no matter how things evolve. But my wish is
Yes.
that generally speaking, our country and everyone looking to grow their family gets more financial support.
Yeah.
I think my second wish, and maybe I'll put this on anyone listening or that knows anyone, is to just get more people, get more people that want to help advocate with us, that want to help join us in raising the funds, because our grants are a direct reflection of the amount of donations that we receive throughout the year. So the more donations that we receive, the more grants we're able to give,
Mhm.
the more that we can expand. So I think that's always going to be sort of my ongoing wish.
Exactly. That is the nature of a foundation, right? I mean, you want to be able to get more so you can just give more grants out. And we'll be sure to have all of the links in the show notes, viewers and listeners, so to make it easy for you to, go ahead and find your way to Brila, either as an applicant for a grant, but also as a potential sponsor or contributor to really, move the needle, as they say, to
Yeah.
really make this accessible to more and more people, because we know that the trends toward fertility or infertility are kind of scary, with the 1 in 6 in the U.S. I personally believe that's reversible, which is why I also love to be bringing up the foundational questions, because but reversible, but that it does not preclude still the requirement for IVF, because anybody who's listening at this point and is wanting a baby soon, yesterday, it's we're not here to tell you now, like, okay, well, you just go, eat healthy and eat organic and clean out your, the toxins in your cabinetry, and try that for a year. Nobody has that kind of time. Time is of the essence. So and the changes that you make today are beneficial, even if you're beginning your IVF cycle, your retrieval cycle. So
Yeah.
there's no time like the present to begin, because you want a healthy environment for that baby to grow in and those children to grow in it as well.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I want to be mindful of your time, but I also want to make sure that I don't miss anything key. So was there anything that you wanted to make sure that the viewers, knew about you, about Berlora, about how to participate, either, as an applicant or as a sponsor?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, I would encourage everybody listening in to follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook. You can also get more information at our website, brilorafertility.com. While if we are not currently in your state, I can say confidently that we will be soon. Our team doesn't do anything small, so we're here. We're definitely on a push to be able to help everywhere.
Yeah.
And certainly reach out. I would encourage anyone who has questions or thoughts, comments, all the things. Please reach out. We want to hear from you. We want to be able to learn, do more, do better,
Yeah.
and also be able to help everyone if they need help on anything in particular.
That's brilliant. And really, yes, if you're listening from a state that is not Michigan and California, reach out because that means your
Yes.
state, your community needs some help, and you can perhaps be the very person who either is that person or knows
Yeah.
that person who can help get Brilora and the opportunities for grants in your state and your community.
And a lot of our partners are national. So
Hmm.
maybe we're not in your state, but I can tell you we have a lot of amazing partners and friends that are. And so
Excellent.
maybe there's a way that we can still support.
Beautiful. Okay, great. So don't let your geographic zip code be
Yes.
your own personal interpreted limitation because it's not, is the
Right.
message that I'm hearing. No matter
Yeah.
where you are, reach out because that's how these things grow and
Yep.
improve. So that is
Exactly.
wonderful. Lauren, it is I love chatting with you. I mean, and I could probably go on for another half hour, but I try to keep these things so that people can get the meat and potatoes, if you will, of the
Yes.
message and then get on with their day and leave them enthused so that they want to go to those show notes and click through to BriloraFertility.com and either send it to your friends, send it to your employers. Maybe they can become part of the advocacy for sponsorship as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I thank you so much for joining us today. I love talking with you. I love what you're doing. I mean, really, I see it every day. The need is there. And so thank you for noticing it and really using your own experience to create something beautiful and long lasting out of it beyond your two beautiful girls.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And I appreciate your support as well. You're a
My
big part.
pleasure. My pleasure. So, listeners, viewers, until next time, we always leave our little health university conversations with the message to go learn more about yourself. And until then, class dismissed. Hey, thanks for joining us today here at Health University. If you want more episodes like this at Health University, you can find them wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you never miss an episode. If you have any thoughts or questions, please drop a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you at our next episode of Health University. But for now, class dismissed.